Now that we've created a design surface, let's inspect it in a number of ways. We'll have a look at the tin in the drawing space, and we'll draw some cross sections. So before I close the general configuration options, take note that I'm working on a metric drawing, and that'll be important when it comes time to make the cross sections because I'll need to designate an appropriate paper size. If you're working in feet, you want to designate size in inches. If you're in meters, you want to designate a size in metric. I'll say OK to this. And the ground surface is just being designed, but in this case, what I'd like to do is go back to modeling, and we're going to do a tin, and I want to have a good look at the newly created design and road surface. So I'll say OK to that, and let's set a current layer of tin. And we'll tell it to draw. There, now that it's created, what I'd like to do is use the isolate button, and I'm going to isolate just the tin and the contours, and if I'm able to grab it, I'll see if I can grab the edge of the building pad design point. I'll hit enter, and that'll just tidy up our layers so that it's easier to see. Now, I can hold down my shift key and my middle mouse button if I just want to spin this wireframe tin around in surface, or if I want to make it easier to see, I can go to view, and you go into visual styles and you pick on realistic. And now as I spin around, now we can start to see the driveway that was created from the building pad. We can see where the cuts and the fills were. There's another option called MS Render, which opens up a special render viewing window. And this is actually a fairly powerful tool for 3D visualization, and it does a better job of controlling the lighting and so forth. So you can spin around, and again, it's a good way to spot problems in the design surface or anything where things are disagreeing. You'll notice how I've got the pin tool on, which allows me to double click on any part of that surface, and it moves the rotation point around. So I'm just holding down my left mouse button to spin things around. I can inspect the bottom and the top. And finally, another way that I can inspect things is I can have a look at some cross sections. So I'll do an unisolate here, and I think what I'll do is I'll just delete that tin to reduce clutter in the drawing, and we'll go back to a top-down view. Now for cross sections, as I mentioned before, you want to think about what paper size you want to plot these in, and in this case it's going to be ledger size that I'll be using. Go back to the design menu, and we're going to extract cross sections from the alignment. Allows me to select the alignment. I'll say OK to driveway. It wants to, I'm going to start drawing at zero stationing. I'll say OK to that. Here I'm being prompted for controls on how to create the cross sections, and in this case I just want to see a cross section every 50 units going down the alignment. I want to do the full length of the alignment. Over here I just want to plot 10 units on either side of the center line, and here I can highlight the two surfaces that I want to see plotted. Pick on OK here. Now it asks, do you want to draw 3D cross sections in the drawing? So what it'll do is it'll draw a view of the template at each place where it was created at those 50-meter intervals right here in the drawing. In this case I'll say yes to that. There they are. Now it asks, do you want to delete the 2D cross-section lines? So these are just lines that were draped to the surface. Yes, I'll clean them up. Do I want to plot the cross sections? Yes, I do. Here's some of the controls for plotting the cross section. Again, I can confirm that I want to do the full length. In this case, I would like to do fit to section so that we can save a little bit of paper space. My exaggeration is going to be 2, so the vertical scale is going to be twice what the horizontal scale is. And over here, I'm asking for a 432 by 279 millimeter piece of paper. And it's going to have a look at my drawing scale factor and create a rectangle that makes it easy to plot. Last step, it asks to pick the lower left sheet corner. So I'll just plot them off to the side, and there we go. Let me make the cross sections a little bit easier to see by changing their color to red. There you can have a look. If at any point you need to do end area calculations, you can just use the area tool to plot the area within them. And of course you can use these to check against your numbers and expectations. If you want to do a quick plot, it's easy to do it right out of model space here. So if I open up the print dialog, again, remember I said this was going to be ledger size, and as you can tell, it's landscape orientation. I want to tell it that it's millimeters, and in this case it's 1 millimeter to 1 meter, which is the equivalent of the 1 to 1,000 drawing scale factor. Tell it to center on page. I need to select the window that I want to draw, so I'll snap to the corners of the rectangle. And let's do a preview. And there you go. That looks pretty good. So I can either print it or I can close it. Okay, so thanks for learning along with me how to inspect a newly created design surface.